The 9 scariest things about early retirement, and what you need to know. As soon as you reach the third step of life, i.e., your 30s, you start thinking about early retirement. This is usually the time when you need to be realistic about your plans and your future. A good question to ask yourself is, what do you want from your life? They say that life begins at 40, but is that true? Even though retiring early is great, experts say it's not perfect. Dear viewers, if you enjoyed our video and want to help us grow, we ask you to consider the idea of subscribing to our channel and making a donation to support us. Your support is essential for us and will allow us to continue creating interesting and useful content for you. You can do it here below, through the appropriate buttons, subscribe, and thanks. Why? Well, that's why you're watching this video today. You're probably afraid of making financial moves that will risk your future retirement plans, and your thoughts have likely turned to concerns. But before you make that big decision to retire in your early 30s, why not ask yourself these questions? Can I afford to stop working? How will I get health insurance? Will I need a part-time job to make ends meet? What will I do to occupy my time? And most importantly, are my plans in tune with those of my spouse, partner? As you continue to silently answer these questions, here's what you need to know about leaving work at a young age. If you're new to our content, welcome, and hit the subscribe button to be part of our endless educational journey. 1. Health insurance is expensive. If there's one thing you need to consider before retiring early, it's that health insurance will be expensive. This is because after leaving your full-time job, your job will no longer provide health insurance for you. And even after knowing this and budgeting for it, it still becomes difficult for some to keep up. If you're lucky enough to have insurance that can extend your coverage, it's very expensive for a single person, and the chances are that it won't cover you until you're eligible for Medicare at age 65. Sad, right? So how you'll get health insurance after retiring is a critical consideration for anyone who wants to retire early. Before making that decision, you can visit different health insurance markets or speak with experts. You might get an idea of what you'll need to budget for. Things become easier when you have a spouse who works full-time, as you can always switch roles and have them provide health insurance through their job. 2. You're sacrificing the power of compound interest. I know this may sound harsh, but when it comes to growth and success, time is your friend when saving for your retirement, not when spending. Which is what you'll be doing a lot of when you retire. Don't worry, we'll talk about that in a bit, but first, let's talk about the power of compound interest. What does compound interest mean? Well, basically, it's interest earned on interest. If you're saving, compound interest is the money you earn both with your original money and with the interest that continues to accumulate over time. The longer you wait to retire, the more interest you'll earn. For example, suppose you earn an average of 6% per year on your investments. This means that if you save from age 25, €250 per month, which is €3,000 per year, by age 55, you'll have approximately €237,000 when you retire. Not a bad return on your €90,000 in contributions, right? Okay, let's say you work for another 10 years and retire at age 65. More money, right? So how about retiring at age 40 instead? That's less money. Now you know how much a decade of contributions helps. Keep in mind that after retiring, there will be more expenses than savings. If this excites you, keep watching to learn more about this. 3. You'll need to make your savings last longer. As we mentioned earlier, the earlier you retire, the less money you have. Unless you're Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk. We all know that the human life expectancy is around 86 years, depending on the country you live in. The harsh truth about retirement that no one will ever tell you is that the longer you live, the more you'll need to shell out to finance your extended golden years. Sad, right? This is something you'll need to consider before retiring early, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Now, if you retire, say at age 40, you'll have no choice but to stretch your savings for 46 years. Taking the example we made earlier, you have €237,000 at retirement. Will that be enough to serve you for 46 years? Well, we won't answer that for you. 4. You'll spend more money than you think. In the early years of retirement, when you're still young, you'll want to spend your money on travel, home renovations or moves, and other retirement-related lifestyles. As Sean Pearson said, every day is Saturday when you retire. What he meant was that once you retire, all your days will resemble a Saturday. For example, when you have nothing to do, you simply choose a home chore to avoid being inactive. It's also considered a fun and social day, and we all know that whether there's fun or not, money is never far from it. These are the reasons why Saturday is the most expensive day of the week. Now, imagine that all your days are Saturday when you retire. You'll probably spend as much or more than before retirement. Even though you'll be happy not to have to pay Social Security taxes, save for retirement, or commute every day, your money will go towards things you don't need, and if you run out of money, that would be the end of your financial move. 5. Home expenses don't disappear. Another thing you should know is that retiring doesn't mean that home expenses disappear. Whether it's a mortgage, repairs and replacements, and let's not forget about grocery shopping. They never end. First of all, retiring without a mortgage should be a goal whether you're thinking of retiring early or later. This puts you in the safe zone of post-retirement life. But besides that, we have home maintenance and rising property taxes that, if you didn't know, can consume a large chunk of your budget. Homeowners are advised to set aside 1% of the purchase price of their home every year to cover repairs and replacements. That means €4,500 per year on a €450,000 home. Not to mention the small but expensive shopping you have to do every month for the rest of your life. I bet you're thinking right now that growing up sucks. 6. Part-time work can be a challenge. If you think that a part-time job after retiring is the way to go, then we want to tell you that it's not as easy as it seems. It's a challenge that only 27% manage to overcome. This is because part-time jobs can require a commitment to a schedule that's not flexible. And one thing we know about retirees is that they love to enjoy their sweet time completing the to-do list they wrote in their mid-20s or visiting families. The inflexibility of a part-time job has surprised many early retirees, and those who have managed to overcome the challenge have had to cut their retirement goals. Unless you're making millions during your retirement, then you need a part-time job if you don't want to be declared bankrupt by age 45. Otherwise, the income gap will never be filled since you'll have to be 62 years old to claim retirement benefits. Even if you can risk a 30% reduction if you claim it before age 62, but it's not considered a wise move to make. 7. Do you have a plan to pass the time? We mentioned earlier that retirement makes all your days feel like Saturday. Besides spending time, Saturdays are usually boring. Before retiring, you were used to working from Monday to Friday, but now that you're retired, you have a 40-hour gap in your week that you need to fill with something else. And not just 1 week, but the many years ahead of you. You need to think about a hobby, whether it's joining a golf club or a book club. You need to make sure you have enough activities to keep not only your mind but also your body and spirit busy. We all know that an idle mind is the devil's workshop, and we don't want that mind to go places it shouldn't be. You'll need to plan your life and make it busy. Go to the gym early in the morning, relax by the pool at noon, take long walks in the afternoon, and even curl up on the couch with a good book in the evening. You could also volunteer or go back to school. In short, keep your mind busy, or better yet, prepare a plan in advance for retirement. If you had the chance to retire early, how would you spend your days? Let us know in the comments below and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. 8. You might need to make new friends. Spending time is not a problem. The big question is, who will you spend it with? After retirement, doing all these things will be rather boring if you don't have someone to keep you company. Don't forget that just because you retired early doesn't mean your spouse or friends did too. People in your small circle don't have the same luxury you do, and therefore they won't always be available for a pool dip. This will force you to make new friends, and in most cases, these friends are usually people above your age group. For example, if you retire in your 40s, the only people you'll play golf with will be those in their 60s or 70s. They're the only age group not busy with work from 9 to 5. So, whether you like it or not, your new friends will be significantly older than you. You'll be forced to start over with friendships, which isn't a bad thing, but make sure you have a different set of expectations about everything. 9. Retirement can be tough for couples. Finally, if you have a significant partner, the road after retirement is not easy. It's a major life transition that requires you and your partner to be patient with each other. It's not like in the movies where it's all fun and love conveyor belt. Once you both retire, or one of you retires, changes will need to be made at home. If you're the one retiring, things will seem overwhelming because you might be the one managing most of the work while your partner is busy at work. Sometimes you might even feel lonely, which might not be good for you. If you're both retired, the work around the house might need to change. You'll need to decide who works on what and where with cleaning, cooking, and all other household chores. This is when most couples start having problems, and divorce issues arise. Most retired couples don't want to stay together 24/7 because of the small arguments that arise every day with household chores and other things. Overall, before making that big decision, think it through, and we hope this video has helped you understand things. Comment anyway to let us know how we can do better. Your like would make us happy. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video.